Studios. Joining us now, Terri Herring, founder of Choose Life Mississippi. Morning, Terri. Thanks for joining us on Middays.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
All right, so tell us about this March for Life rally going on in Washington, D.C.
Well, the March for Life is marking the 50th anniversary, what would have been the 50th anniversary for Roe versus Wade. And instead, we are able to mark this as a year of jubilee for the unborn babies that are going to be saved through the Dobbs Act, which was instrumental in the overturn of Roe versus Wade and came out of our Mississippi legislature.
Right, and it's scheduled for today, correct? Getting underway?
Yes, but tomorrow's the actual anniversary of Roe v. Wade, but today is the march. And in Mississippi, there is also a prayer meeting today commemorating the babies' lives that have been lost, and that's at 3 p.m. at our state capitol in Mississippi. But we're all celebrating no matter what, because we are seeing such an amazing time in history. You were talking about inequity, but up until now, Roe versus Wade has been the giant in the land, and without slaying Goliath, nothing we passed in the legislature avoided the courts. And so this puts the ability to regulate abortion in the state's hands. Mississippi has been strong. Speaker Philip Gunn has carried a lot of weight with this. We're going to certainly miss his departure, and are hopeful that we will have a speaker that will continue to press for pro-life legislation and defend the legislation that we have. We don't want to lose any ground, and Mississippi is protecting babies, and the last abortion clinic closed, but that doesn't mean that we don't still need to do a lot of work. Choose Life Mississippi is supporting over 30 pregnancy resource centers through our grants. They are really privately raising their own funds as well, but we are getting up to about the $4 million mark as far as being able to distribute funds to the centers. And so one of the things that Philip and I talked about, Speaker Gunn and I spoke about last year, was how does Mississippi, now that we have ended abortion in our state for practical purposes, again, we're still fighting the distribution of abortion pills and that kind of thing. But the exciting thing is that we are seeing the state step to the plate and fund our pregnancy centers. So last year there was a $3.75 million tax credit that was provided for Mississippi to distribute to the pregnancy centers, and we were able to this year collect what would have been taxes at $1.9 million to the pregnancy centers out of that 3.75. But a lot of this is an educational process for getting people to understand. I know for my husband and I personally, like understanding that corporations can give what would be their ad valorem tax to the Pregnancy Center Act, and that would be a complete tax credit for that corporation. So we're really excited to be able to have given this money to the pregnancy centers, because we have to do something to help women. Now that we've ended abortion per se in Mississippi, we want to see our statistics change. We know currently that the infant mortality rate in Mississippi is very high. How can we educate young women and get them into the process of having a healthy child and knowing how to parent that child if they do not choose adoption?
And we should point out that this bill that went into effect that allows corporations and individuals to contribute, it is a dollar-for-dollar tax credit. So essentially the way the speaker described it when he was on the program a couple of weeks ago is you're sending that money to the CPCs as opposed to the state, the exact same amount of money. So it doesn't just reduce your tax liability, it actually offsets it on a dollar-for-dollar basis. So it's a great program in that respect.
It allows us to determine where our tax dollars will go. And in our it's very important for these pregnancy centers to really be able to do the things that we want them to do long term. Would love to see them to be able to go fully medical at some point.
Hmm.
Currently, they're able to provide so many services, and they're able to refer for many services. But to see the statistics change in Mississippi, to see that ending abortion is not going to hurt Mississippi in women, that they are going
Hmm.
to move forward and continue to live a productive life. We want to be sure we provide women with the help they need. And people can go to chooselifems.org, and you can find out how to buy a Choose Life tag. And the Choose Life tags are still supporting Mississippi women through the pregnancy centers, but you can also give a tax deductible gift to Choose Life Mississippi, and it'll be distributed to pregnancy centers that are in Mississippi. So
Yeah.
we're just excited about what God has done in our state and allowing us to be instrumental in the overturn of Roe v. Wade. And we've worked for many years to see these laws changed, and thousands of babies have already been had their lives saved by the laws in Mississippi and in other states that are protecting human life. So we celebrate
How,
that today.
sure. How many pregnancy centers are there now in the state, Terri?
With the ones that Choose Life supports and have grants from Choose Life are 32 at this time, and that's mostly pregnancy resource centers. Some of those resource centers are adoption centers as well. So yes, we've got a lot of help going out, but there's a great need in Mississippi too. And so as we step forward, say you don't have to have an abortion, you will receive help. We want to come, be good to our word. And the pregnancy care centers do just that. They provide
Hmm.
care. They care about the women. And there's a big difference between seeing a doctor, if you even went early in your pregnancy, maybe 9 times. Again, we need the medical community, but these pregnancy centers do a lot of things that the medical community alone cannot do. So
Yeah.
having people there care about you and can help you through a pregnancy, I think it's going to be a great thing to come to the end of this year and maybe the next and see the statistics in Mississippi change for the better.
Attorney General Lynn Fitch, of course, who spearheaded the Dobbs case, which led to the overturning of Roe v. Wade, has talked quite a bit about the need for the legislature to act to be more supportive of new mothers that make this decision to have their baby as opposed to aborting it, and that we need to get more active in that regard just to help them out with that responsibility. Any thoughts about that and how your organization is working there?
Well, Lynn Fitch has been played a key role in this Dobbs decision because it originated, as you know, as a 15-week gestational age act, and
Hmm.
it was intentional to try to reduce abortions in Mississippi from 16 weeks to 15 weeks. But it also gave us the opportunity, and Lynn Fitch took that opportunity to ask for the overturn of Roe versus Wade, and she's speaking today in the March for Life in Washington
Right.
D.C. We're so proud of what she's accomplished. I think in terms of helping women, this money is going to be so key because it just takes that kind of support to get women through a pregnancy that whether she's young, whether she's juggling a family at home already, there are so many things we can do. And I know I was a young mother myself, and you don't know if you're going to keep your job, if you're performing a task that might be difficult to do while pregnant. And so I'd like to also just call on Mississippi employers to make a way for pregnant women to continue working if they work for you now. And it is the law that you're not allowed to lose your job just because you become pregnant. But I think a
Yeah.
lot of women out there say that it sometimes is very difficult to make it through those times, and we have a lot of young women getting pregnant, but again, helping us through that time in our lives where it is not easy to be a woman and pregnant, and maybe having an unplanned pregnancy is all the more difficult. But God can make a way, and He can make a way through churches. There's a program called Embrace Grace that is doing a great job in the churches. So we need churches to step up and help women, and these pregnancy resource centers are a huge part. So if you
All
go to
right.
chooselife.org, chooselife.ms.org. You can get more information about buying a Choose Life tag to support these women or giving a donation. And we would love to have you on board with helping women choose life in Mississippi.
Terri Herring, appreciate it. Founder of Choose Life Mississippi. Thanks for coming on, Terri.
Thank you so much for having me. God bless.
You got it. God bless as well. We'll step aside for a break here on